So what do you think about writing an artist bio?
I think I probably need to watch this video when it's done because my bio is terrible.
Artist bio is one of those things that, like, man.
Where do you begin?
Yeah.
My About Me page on my online shop starts with the formation of Earth, and then it goes on and on for like 5 paragraphs leading up to present day.
So don't take any advice on how to put your artist bio together from Clee.
Rafi's tips for artists because he loves you.
Hola, you amazing artists. I've got 2 questions, one from Aisling and JP. I would love it if they prepared me for the stuff someone has to do to become an artist. Bio, statement, resume, press release, mission statement, summary for social media. What do I post on social media? How do I constructively show my work in the process and share my craft? Why isn't any of this covered? JP asks, oh, I would also like tips on writing a good artist bio. If you go on a lot of artist websites, you'll see that their bios are different. Some of them is like 1 paragraph and then they have a list of all the things that they've done. Some of them, like Clee, is like 5 pages worth of the history of the world. Then you've got things like mine where like you've got some description and some stuff. It's just an amalgamation of stuff that I've done over the last few years. Okay, so I have 6 rules that I follow for my artist bio, and we'll get through these really quick because honestly, artist bio, that's a very dry thing to talk about. Number 1, anyone or anything that has influenced the artist artworks. One of the things you're going to want to talk about is where your influences come from. Yes, I am influenced by this modern era of blah blah blah. I am influenced by this artist. I am influenced by the writings of Edgar Allan Poe. Whatever it is that influences your art, you want to have an area in your bio where you add that. Number 2, any education or training in the field of art. So if you have any education or degrees or anything like that, the bio is a place that you're going to want to put it. Now, my suggestion is that you just mention it, but don't like go into it and be like, oh, I am so educated. If you don't have educational stuff, don't worry about it. I don't have any, and if you go to my bio, you'll see that it's perfectly fine to not be educated.
Yeah, mine would say something like, I took art in high school and my senior art teacher didn't really like me, and then I took a few art classes in college and eventually dropped out.
My art education would be like, my teacher basically said that I would never succeed as an artist and I would never ever make it. And yet, several years later, here I am! If you do have an education, add your degrees or whatever it is that you have in art and what your training is into your bio. Just make it short and sweet. Number 3, any related experience in the field of art. So this is where you're going to do a really quick short description of any big projects that you've worked in the field of art. Or if you're an art teacher or you do something that is related to art that is not necessarily just creating artwork. You want to add that into your bio as your street cred. Like, this is what I've done, man.
You should also put like a header for that part that says street cred.
That's awesome. I'm going to do that on my website. Yeah. Rafi's Street Cred. This is what I've done, man.
Bam. There it
Bam.
is.
Number 4, a summary of the artist's artistic philosophy. So you're going to want to write a little bit about why you create art. What your philosophy is when it comes to art. What your philosophy might be when it comes to life and how it has an effect on your art. My philosophy has to do with leaving the world a little bit brighter and happier, feeling empowered and all that stuff. So you'll find that in my bio when it comes to why I create the work that I create. Number 5. Any artistic insight or techniques that are employed by the artist. So if you have a unique way to approach canvas or any other mediums of art that you do, this is where you'd want to do like a short thing about that. Maybe you have a different way of seeing the world and a different way of applying whatever materials it is that you apply to whatever it is that you make. So you want to kind of play around with that and see if you could formulate that into words and use that in your bio.
I approach canvas very slowly.
Clee causes havoc in the studio sometimes when she's walking around. She's a big man in a little girl's body.
It's true. I am a very big man.
Number 6, a short description of what the artist would like to accomplish with their art. So this is where you would write what it is that you want to accomplish with your art. I want to impact society in a certain way. I want to do something. Just think about that. These questions also help you think about why it is that you do what you do.
It doesn't have to be a life-changing thing either. It could be like, I just want to bring more awareness to the appreciation of vintage flatware.
Just what is it that you want to accomplish? What is the mark that you want to leave with your art? It doesn't have to be a huge mark. It could be a little mark, but what is it? It's important to note that you can change your bio whenever you want, because you have to keep in mind, you're not the same person that you were several years ago, and you're not going to be the same person that you are now. Things might change, and whenever they do, go ahead and update your bio. One thing to keep in mind when you're writing everything out is that you keep your bio short and sweet. Short and sweet. Not 5 pages long that have to do with the history of the world, but short and sweet and relevant just to you. Once you write your bio out, send it to some people and get their opinion. Get some honest opinion. You want to send it to people that are going to give you an honest opinion on what they think of the bio. Not somebody who's going to be like, oh, it's so great and wonderful because you're so great and wonderful.
And you're my son.
Yeah. Pick somebody who is going to be honest with you. Also make sure that somebody who is an expert on grammar and spelling and all that stuff takes a look at your bio and makes whatever changes they need to make. And then once you sign off on that, your bio is ready to post online or to print up with whatever materials and any shows that you're doing. You'll have a structured bio that you can share wherever it is that you need to share. At the end of the day, my suggestion is don't be so concerned that your bio is perfect, because your bio will constantly be in flux. It's constantly going to be changing. And that's it. That's my suggestion for your bio page, whatever it is, as far as writing it. Just have fun with it. Put in a sense of humor if you have one.
Get someone else to write it if you don't. Wait. We have not addressed the single most important question about writing a bio.
And what is that?
Do you refer to yourself in the first person or the third person?
I have written bios where I refer to myself as the first person, and then I've written bios where I've referred to myself in third person. It's easier to talk about yourself if you are talking about yourself in third person, where you are describing it, versus if you're talking about yourself in a personal way, where you're like, yeah, you know, and I'm pretty freaking genius when it comes to all these things, and I'm an artist, and I blah, blah, blah. I always suggest that you write it in third person. At least that's how I do mine. And then there are some occasions where I will write in first person. That's all personal choice. It's up to you on how you're going to write it.
Mine's written in first person. I love the earth. And I love...
Yeah, but you're mostly talking about the earth and rocks. You're not even talking about yourself. It's not really a bio about you.
No, not so much.
Thank you, Aisling and JP. And if you guys want to see any of their artwork, follow their links in the description below. And if you guys have any tips or thoughts on bios, just leave them in the comment section below. And if you have any questions about artwork or life, just leave them in the comment section below as well. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. You guys are so freaking amazing. I totally adore you. And if you like this video and you want to watch more like this, go ahead and click right over here to subscribe. And that's it. Say goodbye, Clee.
Good day.
Adios.